All right, I have some great buy low targets for you guys in fantasy baseball. But before we get into it, if you're not already, please subscribe to the channel down below. Also, drop this video a like. Let me know what you're thinking in the comments. And memberships are open where you guys can ask me personalized questions about your fantasy teams. Just click that join button right down there on your desktop browser and ask me about any of these trade offers you're sending out or receiving. Also, a special shout out to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's video. Now, before we get into specific players that I think you guys should be buying low, I want to go over 3 huge rules with buy low trade offers in fantasy baseball, fantasy sports in general. Rule number 1, act swiftly and decisively when going after a buy low player. Make that trade offer right now if that player is struggling and you still like them, because one good game can make all of their managers' worries melt away. This is really just us preying on someone else's worry and anxiety about a player that looks like they could be a bust early on. But again, one good game can really quell all of that concern. Just like Tuesday night when Jesus Luzardo threw a gem against the Giants, going 7 innings, striking out 8, not giving up any runs, not walking any batters. His ERA is still in the 5s, but you're much less likely to get a manager to panic sell Jesus Luzardo after that great start. Now, rule number 2, very important. Do not be disrespectful. You are trading with a human. You're buying low. You're not ripping somebody off. If you give this really aggressive low ball offer, you're just going to piss off your league mate, and that's how negotiations stop. You want to be trading for a player that you think is good right now for 75 cents on the dollar, and then over the next few months, they earn you back that dollar. There needs to be something of value going each way. This trade has to at least appear mutually beneficial when you make it. Don't be a jerk. And then rule number 3, don't be ridiculous. Your league mates are not trading Bobby Wood Jr. They're not trading Ronald Acuna. They're probably not trading Julio Rodriguez. They're probably not trading Gunnar Henderson right now, even though those guys have all started slowly. Like, sure, send some make good offers on those guys, still give them a huge piece in return, but you're not really going to be able to buy low players that were drafted like the first round. The only way you can honestly get a player like that is if they've had such a catastrophic start, and I wanted to wait about a month into the season to make this video, because that's when these catastrophic starts can actually seep in and make people really panic about their players. Just like the first player on this list, Fernando Tatis Jr. He's been so bad so far this season. You guys see the stats above me, mostly the fact that he has 0 home runs. How does Fernando Tatis Jr. have 0 home runs? One reason is kind of a batted ball phenomenon that's happening with Tatis right now, where he's had 11 barrels this season, and 10 of those barrels that he put in play became outs. Checking out right here, all of the players with the most barrel outs in the league, he's had 11 barrels this season, and 10 of those 11 barrels that were put in play have turned into outs. That is completely ridiculous. Right now, if you scroll on the list of the guys who have the highest percentage of their barrels that have been turned into outs, Tatis is completely on an island here. This is such a statistical anomaly, I can't even describe it. Even right now, let's look at some league-wide stats on barrels. If you have a barrel that's put in play, the league has about a 680 batting average, a slugging percentage well over 2,000, and an xWOBA over 1,200. Then if you look right now at Tatis's barrels, he has a 100 batting average. I know it's 1 out of 11 technically, but he has a sac fly mixed in there. A 200 slug, but still that 960 expected WOBA. The fact that he has the high barrel rate, the fact that he's actually putting those balls in play, that's a really good sign. The fact that right now he has basically the highest hard hit rate of any player in baseball at nearly 67%, that's a really good sign. But at the same time, we can't ignore this very genuine power outage that Tatis is going through. First off, it seems like he's kind of indecisive on making a swing change. If you look at his batting stance data for this season, he's much less open than he's been in the past. But I watched almost the entire Padres-Cubs game on Tuesday night, and Tatis opened to swing way back up in that game, so I don't really know what he's doing. I don't even know if he knows what he's doing with that. But the bottom line is, when he takes a swing, he's not setting himself up for power at the moment at all. I want to shout out a great member of Padres Twitter, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Yeah, that's his real @ Here's his tweet right here. Great video he made showing this side angle of Tatis' swing over the last 2 seasons. You can just see when you compare these 2 swings and setups that this year compared to last year, he's not using his lower half. His swing is all arms. He's not having a big leg kick. He's not balanced. Again, he's just not really engaging those hips. I'm honestly going through the exact same problem right now in softball. I'm stinging the ball, but I can't lift it. So me and Tatis kind of one in the same. But in reality, what this has done to Tatis in real life is caused his pull rate to go way down. He can't lift the ball anymore with authority besides those barrels. Those are all sinking barrels, not really gap shots or not going over the fence, which is why he's getting uncharacteristically bad results on those barrels. But again, the hard contact's still so good. This is still Fernando Tatis Jr. All the jokes are being made about the steroids, why he's not getting for power. It's really this weird swing mechanic thing happening right now. And the fact that Petco Park in San Diego does play much more pitcher-friendly early in the season, but he's going to get it together. He's still staying in the ball. He still makes really good swing decisions. He also just got second base eligibility if you play on Yahoo. And if you guys play on ESPN, CBS, Fantrax, NFBC, any other place, it looks like he's going to get second base eligibility everywhere. He's been a part-time second baseman for the Padres over the past few weeks. I think this will continue. I'm genuinely still viewing him as like a top 25 bat rest of season. And when you go into trade negotiations for Tatis, probably think about him that way as well. Now, quickly, before we get to the next player, A word from today's sponsor. Prize Picks is America's #1 sports picks app. If you're not on Prize Picks yet, here's why you should be. The app is super simple. You just pick more or less on a few player stats, lock your lineup, and you're in. No confusing strategy, no complicated interface, just you, your sports knowledge, and your picks. Right now, I'm looking at some picks for some Friday night hoops. I've been the king of going 2 for 3 lately, and Donovan Mitchell just sold me right down the liver in my last set of picks. But after this now, going into this Friday night, I like Cade Cunningham more than 28.5 points. He keeps dragging this Pistons offense along with him. I also really like Desmond Bane more than 2.5 3-pointers. Guy's a sharpshooter. And then LeBron James at night, more than 38.5 points, rebounds, and assists to just do it all for the Lakers and finally put away this Rockets team. And remember, you guys can follow me on the app at my username right here so you can see my picks before I even tell you about them in these videos. The best part, if you're a new user, you can get $50 in lineups just for playing your first $5 lineup. All you have to do is download Prize Picks, sign up with the code HMA, and you're good to go. Remember, the link for that is always down there in my description. So download the Prize Picks app, sign up with code HMA, and you got that bonus. Also remember, Prize Picks is available in so many states: Florida, Texas, California, and of course the beautiful New York. So check it out, use code HMA, and please only play if you know you can do so responsibly. Next up, we have Mets third baseman Bo Bichette, and for Bichette's entire career, he's been a very streaky player. And that's because his profile lends itself to being very streaky. He chases lots of pitches out of the strike zone, he does not draw any walks, and he does not lift and pull the ball. Right there, those are all the things that can drag a player out of a slump, and for Bo right now, he's sinking very deeply into a slump. Again, he's always been streaky, but this is an especially bad streak that he's been on to start this season. Because outside of his super disastrous 2024 season, Bo Bichette has never had a 30-game stretch, ever, 30-game span, any season of his career besides 2024, where he had an OPS below 600. I really could not believe my eyes when I got that stat, but 600 is really, really low, and Bo has been such a consistent performer for so long, it is hard to slump that bad for a full month. If you bump up that OPS qualifier to 650, Bo has had a stretch or two of those every single year, including 2024, again, when that was basically his entire season. That 2024 season is really just sticking in my craw right now, making me a little extra nervous about Bo, but I really want to trust the body of work, and I want to say that this is just a cold streak at the beginning of a season for a guy that's clearly pressing, running a career-high chase rate with a huge contract, playing on a team that's struggling so badly, and he's clearly taking it personally with how much he's making, how important he was to his team construction, how bad he's playing himself as a very prideful player. And it's all kind of working, again, to make him press, chase more than he ever has in his career, pull fewer fly balls than he ever has in his career. Very bad look right now, very bad profile. At the same time, again, too much of a track record to be this bad. He's prone to streakiness because of the chase and the opposite field approach. Sometimes hits just don't fall. I think he will get more comfortable. This Mets lineup just can't continue to be as bad as it's been so far. Eventually, they're going to get a little bit hotter. They're going to start churning some runs relatively, not as good as we thought at the beginning of the year, but relatively. And Bo, hitting leadoff ahead of Juan Soto, still having third base and shortstop eligibility, to me, a great player to buy low on at the moment. I think some people are freaking out and are willing to sell him for very cheaply. Next up, I very quickly want to run through some high-level buy low guys, because I'm going to get a bit more granular after this, but these are just some players who were drafted very highly, who I think people could be panicking about at the moment, who you should be buying low on. Number one, Kyle Tucker. If anybody's willing to sell low on Kyle Tucker, do it. I think if you guys play in a points-based league, he should be considered a top 10 hitter moving forward. Profile looks totally fine. Doesn't look like an issue. Probably just looks like nerves in the first month of a monster contract. Jazz Chisholm over the last few weeks has been hitting the ball much harder, and the good results will follow. He had a poor April last year and a great season after that. I think he's going to do the exact same this year. Logan Webb's another one. I've been so hot and cold about Logan Webb on this channel, and I'm excited for my new pitching rankings to come out next week so I can figure out where he actually fits in the landscape of the league. But right now, his strikeout rate has fallen dramatically, and he's not having as good of batted ball luck as he had the last few years. The defense has not been as good behind him. But I think the strikeout rate will actually trickle back up, because right now he's just not getting any swings and misses on his sweeper, so I think that will improve. Then you have some guys with just some great track records who are having really bad starts who will be okay. Ketel Marte, Rafael Devers, Pete Alonso, even Logan Gilbert's ERA starts with a 4 right now. It's a great time to try and trade for a guy. Pete Alonso, time recording, his batting average still starts with a 1. And Rafael Devers, time recording, I mean, whenever you guys watch this, he probably still is one of the least valuable players in the league. Long-time track record with these players. These are the time to pounce early in the season. We still have like 80% of the season left. Plenty of time to go. Their numbers will be there at the end of the year. Then a couple little touchier ones. Willy Adames has had one of the worst 2 weeks I've ever seen a baseball player have. He's another guy who's prone to hot and cold streaks. He had a terrible start last year before getting himself together by midseason. I think that happens again. Roman Anthony is another one. The Red Sox are a disaster at the moment, and he just seems too passive. If I was a Red Sox coach and I see his zone swing rate, his general swing rate, but then also his contact metrics, I would grab him by the shoulders and say, hey man, swing more. Please swing more. The walks are great. Just please put your bat in the ball. We need that. And lastly, Josh Naylor. Josh Naylor is a player who always goes up and then comes back down. You just see the cold right now being more pronounced because the only thing he's done so far. You look up on the scoreboard, you see ugly numbers. It'll make someone scared, but Josh Naylor, we'll definitely get it together over the next few weeks or month. Now, next up here is we move to the nitty gritty. Connor Griffin. I think he's a great buy low right now. I really do. I think this is just growing pains for a young hitter who has all the tools and all the upside in the world. And I think he is starting to find it. The game clearly moved very, very fast for Griffin over his first week and a half of play. Through 10 major league games, he had a 152 batting average, 256 on base, and 182 slug with a 30% strikeout rate. That was really terrible. But finally, last Friday, on his 20th birthday, have to again put into context, he just turned 20 years old. He hit the first home run of his career, and he looked so relieved running to bases. This kid was grinning ear to ear. It finally looked like he was getting more comfortable. He hit another home run on Tuesday night. He's been stealing more bases. I know a lot right now in the swing decision profile looks not so good for Griffin. He's chasing a good bit. He's whiffing a good bit. But I'm kind of surprised how well he's lifting the ball for, again, a 20-year-old rookie, and how much he's pulling those fly balls. Usually this is something that young players struggle with. You'll get a lot of ground balls, kind of be singles machines. But the fact that he's lifting pulled fly balls, still has the great bat speed, and he has nearly a league average zone contact rate, I'm very bullish on Griffin for the next few months. His value is sinking like a stone. I've had questions from you guys about, should I pick up Connor Griffin? He's on my waiver wire. Yes, get Connor Griffin on your team. Remember last year when Nick Kurtz was barely hitting 200 through 3 weeks in the major leagues? Roman Anthony did the same thing, and those two guys were some of the best performers in baseball through the summer months. I think that's going to happen with Connor Griffin. Don't leave him on your waiver wire. If you play in a deeper league, send a make good offer for him. Next up, we have Reed Detmers. He's been a favorite of the channel this year. I really think he's on the way to a breakout, and he's been a little inconsistent this season, despite some really, really good underlying stuff. Like he had a gem a week and a half ago against the Yankees. He also got crushed by the Braves before that, and he's had some good and some bad in starts against the Astros, the Mariners, the Blue Jays, and the Royals. But overall, I just have to be encouraged by what I've seen stuff-wise from Detmers as he's moved back from the bullpen into the rotation. I said this on my waiver video a few weeks ago. I love that his fastball is still holding firm at 94 miles per hour. That's above average velocity for a left-handed pitcher right now. His slider is still super nasty. He's got good command of that pitch overall. And something clicked with that changeup a week and a half ago in that start against the Yankees, where it jumped 3 miles per hour out of nowhere. As you guys can see on this graph, like where'd that velocity come from? But I'm happy it's here. It was super nasty in that start, but that's because his command of it was amazing in that start. Where now if you look at the command of that changeup in his following 2 starts, it wasn't very good. This is going to be a little bit of a thing for Detmers, where he'll be able to get righties out very, very consistently if that changeup command is on. If that changeup command is not on, he's going to struggle a bit with them, at least a bit more. Because still, the fastball and the slider are enough to make him passable, but that changeup being consistent will be the key to make him something like a top 30-ish guy. As of right now, he's probably going to be around my top 50-ish, so jump on that if your league mates can't see it. Now we have Tyler Soderstrom from the Athletics. This is kind of annoying because I wrote up some great notes for Soderstrom that I'm still going to share with you guys, but he got injured diving for a ball in the outfield on Tuesday night, stayed in the game, but looks like his shoulder was bad. After taking another at-bat, he left. I don't really know what's going to happen. Don't have a firm word on it yet. He's not in their starting lineup on Wednesday night, but again, have some great notes here. So if he is healthy, if he doesn't wind up going on the injured list, I'd still recommend buying him low, mostly because all of the underlying stuff is basically exactly the same last year compared to this year when he broke out last year. His parametrics are the same. His plate discipline is very similar. There's nothing really discernible as to a reason why Soderstrom's come out of the gate slowly. On top of that, I mentioned in my panic meter video a few weeks ago that there seems to be a bit of an approach change for Soderstrom this year, where his intercept point with the ball has moved up 3 inches for the first time, at least in his major league career. He's really trying to go out and get it, where at the same time, his attack direction, again now for the first time in his major league career, is to the pull side rather than the opposite field. That's telling me he wants more pull side power. And another adjustment he's made that I kind of love is that he's lowered his swing tilt. Soderstrom is a guy that always got natural loft on the ball. Always has just been really good at lifting it and getting that nice backspin to make it just travel through the air. So now that he can level out his swing, focus on pulling the ball, I think that'll just make his game power play up even further. And so far this season already, his pulled fly ball rate and just his regular fly ball rate have gone up, even though the swing tilt has gone down. So I am excited to see how his launch angle distribution winds up this year, especially when you look at it compared to last year. I really just want to see him more getting into that ideal launch angle between like 5 and 25 degrees. Avoid the pop-ups and avoid all those ground balls, which again, we'll see. And I want to take you guys right now through one of my favorite features on Baseball Savant, the zone charts they have for every single player, where you can compare any 2 seasons, how players are performing in certain stats based on certain zones where pitchers are throwing the ball. And right now, I'm just going to make sure we're getting only right-handed pitchers for Soderstrom because I don't know how lefties and righties are facing him. I think I just want to split out for this zone. But you're seeing that this year, there's not that big of a difference in the way people are pitching Tyler Soderstrom. Mostly you're just seeing a lot more pitches on this area, down and at his feet, low and inside. And I think a reason for that is for some reason this year, Tyler Soderstrom is swinging significantly more at pitches down in that part of the strike zone And also with trying to attack that part of the strike zone, he's swinging more in the chase area over there. Where at the same time, he's been fading the outside of the plate a lot right here, while also fading the top of the zone a good bit. But really right here, he's traded a lot of this part right here in the outside of the plate, where he hasn't really seen any difference in the percentage of pitches he's seeing out there. But the part that's making me a little bit worried about Soderstrom, I gotta scroll down to it here. Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? Okay, we're coming up on it again. You guys know it. What's my favorite stat? Barrels per swing, where Soderstrom is barreling up the ball really well in that spot. And he did last year too, but this year it's a lot better. But he's not barreling up any differently on this low and inside spot. And of course, he's not barreling up when he gets outside the zone. At the same time, when we check out his hard hit rate per swing, again, it's really good down there, and it's not as good down here. So these areas, especially what I showed you guys high in the zone too, where Soderstrom is swinging less, he's actually hitting the ball harder. So I'm a little bit concerned, Soderstrom just kind of hunting for this zone down here, that possibly, maybe, there's a bit of a chance that he's shooting for the pull side power a little too much and he's losing the all-fields approach that made him such a well-rounded hitter last season. So again, hopefully the shoulder's okay, and I think Soderstrom's approach, as he's changing it, will level out. The great metrics will play, and we'll get a great player once again. All right, now we're going to run through some quicker ones and some deeper leagues. First off, Samuel Basallo. I don't know if this guy's still a buy low, because OPS has finally crept over 800 with another big game on Tuesday, and he's suddenly on a 30-homer pace against all odds after that really cold start to the season. But we have absolutely the makings of a player here who could be one of the best power threats in the entire league and has a chance to go on a nuclear hot streak at the drop of a hat. Especially when you see these rolling graphs right here. It's just nice that Basallo's whiffs and his strikeouts are going down. He's attacking a lot more in the zone. He's still not even pulling the ball in the air as much as I would like, or as much as batted ball data from the minor league suggests. But the Orioles have trusted him. They've still kept him as an everyday player against right-handed pitching. They've still kept him hitting 4th, 5th, or 6th in their lineup on most days. I said all offseason, if anyone in the league this year had a chance to be this year's Nick Kurtz, it was Basallo because of that batted ball profile, and I still feel that way right now, and I'd be happy to buy low on him, even after that slow start. On a similar ilk, Jack Caglione of the Royals, it's just the batted ball profile is still too good. He's swinging and missing much more than last year, but he's finally starting to lift the ball a little bit. You see that average launch angle matriculating up. I never really use average launch angle on this channel because I don't think it's a very valuable stat. But for Caglione's case, a player that we're just dying to see him lift the ball because he hits it so hard, that's great. I also, at the same time, don't like some of the swing changes like all of the Royals have made. Like, why is Caglione's swing longer and slower? It's happened to a few guys in that team. We're keeping an eye on that, but I still want Caglione on my team moving forward. Another one here, Chase DeLauder. His value has crashed since that first weekend of the season where he looked like a world beater. And it kind of makes sense if you take away those first 3 games of the season where he hit 4 home runs against the Mariners. His OPS is below 700 and his WRC plus is under 100. If you add those games back in, his OPS rises like 120 points and his WRC plus rises like 30 points. Just to remind you guys how small the samples still are this time of year. And people are really starting to rage drop him in shallow leagues. And I think you might get a rage sell in a deeper league, but that's way too harsh at the moment. DeLauder still has more walks and strikeouts as we're recording this video. The swing decisions are quite good. His batted ball data is totally solid. It looks like a player who can maintain something like an 800-ish OPS the rest of the season, who's hitting in a very prominent spot in that Cleveland order between Steven Kwan and Jose Ramirez. But the one cause for concern with DeLauder right now is he is getting a bit attacked by velo. He's not swinging and missing much. He doesn't have a whiff problem against velocity, but he's not hitting the ball very hard against it either. So I think pitchers are going to do that to him until he can prove he can beat it. But I think once he readjusts to the league, he's going to prove he can beat it and be a very valuable player. Then the last one on this list is Luke Keeschel. I don't super love the approach change from Keeschel right now, where his swing is way longer. I think he's hunting for more power. His superpower felt like how quick he was, bat to ball, and then spray the line drives everywhere. But I do like the fact that over the last 2 weeks specifically, Keeschel's running a nearly 71 mile per hour bat speed as he continues to elongate his swing. And I'm kind of impressed that as he's really elongated the swing, his contact rates are still the same, not less or anywhere fearful compared to where they were last year. And I think he is just trying to really hunt for that more power, pull the ball in the air more. It's not happening yet, but again, sometimes the big approach change this early on just takes a little bit while for things to coalesce. I'm impressed by the defense he's played second base so far. I love his speed, his athleticism, what he brings to that Twins lineup. I don't think they're sending him down. I'm starting to get a little scared they would, but again, he's hitting a little bit better now. Good time to buy low on Keeschel, a second base position that's still just dreadful, because I think from this point on, I could easily see him be like a top 7 or something second baseman in the league. But all right, guys, thank you so much. That's the buy low video. If you guys have specific trade questions for me, it's hard to really throw like examples of who to trade for these guys into these videos. I want to, but you need to know league context, league size, scoring system to actually give you guys real opportunities if this player should be traded for that player. But that's why memberships are open on the channel. I'll give you guys personalized advice. Send me anything you want. I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Again, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you this weekend for the waiver wire video. Catch you next time.